I would love people saying, "Oh, Leafy, come back." I would love to see Leafy come back and try to exist in the landscape today. Like the content that he was making would never fly on YouTube today, and you have to adapt and overcome the fact that like you can't even curse, bro. Like I don't know.
So if you were one of the lucky ones, you saw the quick and swift removal of Leafy's latest account called Lucky. However, this does spark the debate of, again, whether or not Leafy should have been banned to begin with. Because we all know that the most recent one was due to ban evasion, right? That's an obvious one. But I don't know if anybody remembers, blast from the past, there was in fact a massive debate around the original ban, and if that ban proves to be illegitimate, it does remove all future possible arguments of ban evasion, and therefore Leafy should be able to return successfully. So how do these arguments actually hold up? Just a reminder, don't send anybody any mean, hurtful, hateful, horrible, ugly, rude-ass comments. If you have anything negative to say, please say it in my comment section. I would appreciate the engagement. Alright, let's go. However, H3H3 Productions presented arguments as to why, or rather theories as to why they think Leafy got banned originally. Now, biases aside, let's discuss the original ban.
And that's also part of the thing about when you make 15 videos about someone, even if you're not talking about them in the video, you're just riling people up and getting them all crazy. And it's like Pokimane is turned into this inhuman monster.
So the first criticism that H3H3 brings up here is the idea of having multiple videos on the same person. Specifically in this case, Leafy made 15 videos on Pokimane. So if YouTube feels that that is a reason for a strike, then okay, how did they fare when they tried to do the exact same thing with Trevor Noah's The Daily Show? As you can see just by literally scrolling through their homepage, that this is a significant amount of videos just made on Trump. And I get it, he was president, but some of these videos are literally within this year where he did nothing, he's retired. What more news can there possibly be? This cow has been milked thoroughly. I'm just saying that if you, I mean, it gets the clicks, right? It obviously gets the clicks. Okay, great. But then you can't also then say 15 videos is too much.
So here's one. Bye Pokimane, haha. Someone says someone needs to kill Pokimane, and it has 1,400 likes. That doesn't seem very funny. That to me seems like extraordinarily fucked up. And Leafy responded, HDR recon scope. I don't know. When I saw this, does anyone really think this is funny or cool? I mean, it's kind of horrifically irresponsible and disgusting.
It seems to me like he does, but you have to acknowledge that this is so irresponsible of you to even engage in a comment like that.
So let's pretend for a moment that it was not the 15 videos on her, but rather the content that were the problem. So for example, if there were news every single time and 15 videos had to be made because there was just so much events happening, and the content of it was the problem. The name calling, the harassment, the content of... Well, in this specific episode of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, I guess you could make the case that here name calling does ensue.
Bullshit artist. Don't vote for him because he's tough. He's a baby with even smaller fingers. Don't vote for him because he's a builder. He's more of a shitty lifestyle brand.
You could argue that he incited his audience to further bully Trump by creating actual software of a browser extension called the Drumpinator, where every single term on your Google search that had the word Trump in it would turn into Trump in order to devalue Donald Trump's last name.
Make Donald Trump again.
Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that you can't or shouldn't criticize Trump for literally whatever you want to. I think you should. But then YouTube should apply that same logic to everyone all the time. It can't just be okay to bully and harass Trump for valid or invalid reasons and then not have it be applied equally to everybody across the YouTube landscape.
He made up a game for his audience to go raid her Discord and see how quickly they could get banned. And he even went as far to link the URL in the video of the Discord and offered a cash prize to whoever could get banned the fastest. I mean, this is a direct call to action in a video to his audience to go harass somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, this is not a mystery.
In this third example, H3 highlights a very important criticism, and that is the idea of actually having a direct call to action with even a cash incentive to go and harass another creator at their place of employment, which happens to be online, which happens to be her Discord server. So he not only harassed her by whatever the contents of his video was, but he also sent his audience to do something, encouraging the audience, and this being a massive platform. Again, here we see a segment briefly from The Daily Show.
Excuse me. We can't let Trump win. America has to do to Trump what I did to Marvin. Make his life a living hell.
Now, you can obviously say that this is simply a joke and they don't feel strongly either way. This is only for comedic purposes. Perfect, okay, fine. But then you have to extend the same kind of benefit of the doubt towards Leafy. Then you also have to say, oh, he's being hyperbolic because he's making a joke. If you think that that's a stretch, then the same. That's what I'm going for here. We have to keep the same energy.
He even went as far as to taunt them. He literally says at one point, I will never stop making Poke videos until they ban me. He literally said that.
A fourth point that I want to highlight here is the idea of acting out until getting banned. So H3 is essentially arguing that Leafy cannot be surprised that he blatantly stated that he is going to push himself until the point of getting banned. So therefore, this should not be a surprise to anybody that he did in fact get banned, and that should be the case. So from where I stand, you can basically claim anything, but you don't, as a creator, have any control over what YouTube decides to do. Saying that you're going to try and push the envelope until you get banned is not actually against terms of service. It's the content of what you do to push the envelope, which is. So that to me does not actually warrant any kind of criticism or reasoning beyond being banned. I know he did count it in as one of the things. This is not one of the things. It's not. I can easily say that I'm not going to stop until I get 1 million subs, right? What does that mean? No, absolutely nothing.
You're uploading videos with a Pokemon thumbnail, right? But then the content was you teaching your your viewers about investments in the stock market. So
yeah, the whole joke of those videos was just that, it looks that toxic, but I don't think the videos themselves were that toxic.
So this is another argument I hear, is that, yes, I made 15 videos about Pokemon in the thumbnail and title, but if you actually watch the videos, I was talking about investing or whatever he was talking about. But again, that is a violation of the community guidelines. You can't have misleading thumbnails and titles.
This is the first real case in which I actually completely agree with what H3H3 says here, and that is the idea of misleading titles and thumbnails. And the reason is this is very clearly in violation of terms and services on youtube.com. You're not allowed to put thumbnails and titles in your descriptions if that is not related to the video or if it's not applicable. So this one, yes, this I would give 1 strike. But then this leads us to the next problem. If this is 1 strike, and the warning that Leafy refers to here,
some said that they made a mistake.
No, I had one, I think, warning, but I had no strikes besides that. So yeah, it was super random, dude.
What do you think a warning means? That doesn't sound like it was random at all.
Would make it maybe a 2nd strike, then what could possibly be the 3rd strike? And by that I mean, if any of the previous examples counts as the 3rd and final strike, the nail in the coffin, then my question would be, how many strikes do these daily, nightly, weekly, whatever shows have as well? Is there some kind of a double standard, and how does that work?
I'm just saying he clearly violated all of their rules.
So I'm not trying to argue that any of these nighttime shows should be cancelled or should be banned or anything like that. I'm not saying that their criticisms or values or opinions towards Trump are invalid. I am not saying that Leafy didn't offend anybody or upset anybody either. What I am saying is that YouTube is upholding different standards for different creators, and that in itself means that they are very blatantly biased. And that could be due to the volume the different creators on the platform receive, and it also could be due to favoritism and the amount of hate speech that they are willing to deal with on a regular basis. I have no idea which of these examples are truly the case, but what I do know is that they are being hypocritical. That is it. So in the great philosophical question of whether or not Leafy should have been banned off of youtube.com, can I say that it was fair or unfair? No, I can't, because I don't even know why it was banned. But what I can say is that the arguments brought into question by H3H3 Productions is either hypocritically applied, or it's completely biased or totally invalid. But what do I know? I'm just a thought with an opinion, and I don't know shit about fuck. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace!
Bye, sisters.